Ever notice that some guys get the attention of women effortlessly, even when she initially isn't interested? It's not luck, it's a subtle art of attraction that anyone can master. Today, I'm revealing exactly how you can become irresistible, not by forcing anything, but by understanding the psychology of desire. Confidence is not something you put on like a mask. It's a quiet force that radiates from within when you truly know your worth. Too often, men make the mistake of trying to impress, overextending themselves, or bending their personality just to catch attention. But the truth is, desire is drawn to authenticity. When you respect yourself, when you prioritize your life, your goals, and your happiness over seeking validation from others, you emit a magnetic energy that people, especially women, instinctively notice. It's not about being flashy, loud, or boastful. It's about having a steady presence, a calm assurance that you know what you deserve and will not settle for anything less. This kind of energy makes women stop and reconsider, even if they initially weren't interested, because there's a subtle power in a man who values himself enough to not chase desperately. Your self-value is also reflected in how you carry yourself in every interaction. It's the way you speak, the pace of your words, the deliberate choices you make with your time, and even the way you respond when things don't go your way. A man who knows his worth doesn't need constant validation, doesn't panic when someone seems distant, and doesn't bend to every whim just to keep attention. Instead, he invests in himself, his ambitions, and his passions, and in doing so, he becomes undeniably attractive. This energy is not learned overnight. It's cultivated through self-awareness, discipline, and understanding that your happiness is not tied to anyone else's approval. And when a woman senses that kind of grounded, unwavering self-value, she can't help but feel drawn, not to a persona you're projecting, but to the undeniable force of a man who stands firmly in his own truth. Attraction is never just about looks or charm. It's about connection, and nothing builds connection faster than emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is the ability to understand, read, and respond to emotions, both yours and hers, and it creates a level of intimacy that words alone cannot achieve. Most men underestimate this, thinking that being funny or confident is enough, but women are drawn to those who can truly listen, who can sense when something is off, and who respond with understanding instead of judgment. When you take the time to tune into her feelings, to really hear the words she isn't saying, it communicates more than any grand gesture ever could. It shows her that you are not just present physically, but emotionally invested in the moment, aware of the subtle nuances of how she feels, and capable of responding with empathy and insight. Listening is one of the most overlooked tools in attraction. It's not just about nodding politely or waiting for your turn to speak. It's about active engagement, reflecting back what she says, and asking questions that show genuine curiosity. When a man demonstrates that he can navigate emotions with care and patience, he becomes someone a woman can trust, confide in, and be drawn toward on a deeper level. Emotional intelligence also means managing your own reactions, staying calm under pressure, and approaching interactions with balance and thoughtfulness. A man who loses control, reacts impulsively, or lets insecurities dominate his behavior immediately diminishes attraction. On the other hand, a man who is aware, attuned, and responsive in emotionally intelligent ways naturally sparks desire, even in women who initially seemed uninterested, because she senses a rare kind of stability, empathy, and depth that makes her feel both safe and captivated in his presence. Attraction thrives on a delicate balance between familiarity and mystery, and this is where challenge and intrigue play their most powerful role. When a woman feels like she already knows everything about a man, the spark begins to fade. But when you introduce subtle unpredictability, playful teasing, hints of mystery, or a perspective that challenges her thinking, you create an irresistible pull. This isn't about being manipulative or playing games. It's about cultivating an aura that keeps her curious and engaged. Women are drawn to men who are not fully predictable, who have layers to their personality, and who can maintain their own sense of self without compromising for approval. The moment you stop being overly available or desperate for validation, you begin to create a space where intrigue naturally grows. Challenge is not conflict. It's about playfulness and confidence. When you lightly tease or challenge her ideas, it stimulates her mind and keeps her on her toes while still being respectful and attentive. Intrigue comes from living a life that is full, ambitious, and independent. When you have interests, passions, and experiences that she can't fully anticipate, she begins to notice that there is more to you than what meets the eye. This is the subtle psychology of attraction. Curiosity breeds desire. Women are wired to be drawn toward men who are confident yet unpredictable in small, stimulating ways because it signals strength, self possession, and emotional depth. The key is never to push too far or force attention. True intrigue is felt, not demanded, and it grows naturally when you focus on cultivating yourself and your life, letting her curiosity catch up with the energy you radiate. Nothing draws attention and desire more than a man who knows where he's going in life and is actively pursuing it. Ambition and purpose are not just about wealth, status, or career success. They are about direction, passion, and a clear sense of self. Women are naturally attracted to men who have a vision because it signals stability, confidence, and the ability to provide a life that is meaningful and exciting. A man who is constantly moving forward, learning, creating, or building something of value demonstrates that he respects his own time and energy, and that respect is inherently magnetic. It's the difference between a man who drifts and reacts to life and a man who shapes it according to his values, goals, and passions. Purpose becomes attractive because it communicates that your life is full, rich, and worth noticing. Ambition is also about energy and momentum. When you are passionate about something, whether it's your career, a personal project, or a creative pursuit, that energy becomes contagious. It draws people in, sparks curiosity, and ignites admiration. Women notice men who are consistent in their pursuit of excellence, who rise above distractions, and who invest in themselves daily. This isn't about bragging or seeking validation. It's about embodying a life that is vibrant, focused, and meaningful. A man with purpose doesn't wait for permission or validation. He acts, he creates, and he moves with intention. The quiet confidence that comes from having a direction in life is far more appealing than any flashy display of attention-seeking behavior. When a woman senses that a man has genuine ambitions and a deep-rooted purpose, she is drawn in because she recognizes the power and independence that come from someone who is fully committed to living life on his own terms. There is nothing less attractive than neediness, yet so many men unknowingly push desire away by showing too much of it. Non-desperation energy is about mastering the art of being present without being clingy, of showing interest without losing your independence, and of valuing yourself more than the approval of others. When a man exudes this energy, it communicates confidence, strength, and emotional stability. Women are instinctively drawn to men who have a calm, grounded presence because it signals that their life is full, their happiness is self-sustained, and their attention is a choice, not an obligation. The subtlety lies in understanding that your value does not increase or decrease based on someone else's attention. When you approach interactions from a place of non-desperation, every word, gesture, and glance carries weight because it's not coming from a place of need. It's coming from a place of choice. This energy is cultivated through independence and self focus. It's about maintaining your routines, passions, and social life even while you are interested in someone. You enjoy your world fully and you allow her to be curious about it. Men who chase, overtext, or constantly seek reassurance often signal insecurity, and insecurity diminishes attraction. On the other hand, a man who is comfortable with himself, who can step back without panic, and who allows interactions to unfold naturally demonstrates a rare kind of self assuredness. It's the balance of showing interest while maintaining mystery, of being engaged while remaining unattached to outcomes, and of radiating calm confidence even in situations where others might feel uncertain. This energy not only draws women in, but also cultivates respect, curiosity, and a deeper sense of desire, because it creates a dynamic where she wants to earn your attention rather than take it for granted. Presence is the silent language of attraction, and it communicates far more than words ever could. A man who truly embodies presence has the ability to capture attention effortlessly because he is fully engaged in the moment, aware of his surroundings, and confident in his own skin. This goes beyond standing tall or making eye contact. It's a way of being that radiates calm authority, quiet confidence, and emotional stability. Women are drawn to men who can hold space, who don't fidget or rush, and who make them feel seen and understood without overwhelming them. The energy you carry, the way you move, and the subtle expressions on your face all send signals that can either attract or repel. Presence is magnetic because it shows that you are not scattered, anxious, or desperate for approval, but instead grounded and intentional with every interaction. Body language is the vehicle through which presence is expressed. Eye contact, for example, is one of the most powerful tools in attraction. It communicates focus, interest, and confidence without a single word. Posture also plays a crucial role. Standing or sitting with an open, relaxed stance signals security and strength, while slouched or closed off positions subconsciously suggest insecurity or hesitation. Even small gestures like the tilt of your head, a subtle smile, or the way you position your hands can convey a sense of calm assurance and intrigue. When combined with authentic presence, these nonverbal cues amplify attraction because they show that your confidence is natural and effortless. Women pick up on these signals instinctively, and they respond to men who can express desire and interest subtly yet powerfully through presence alone. Being aware of your body, your energy, and the way you occupy space allows you to communicate depth, confidence, and intent, making interactions feel alive, engaging, and magnetic. Attraction is never about forcing someone to feel what they don't. It's about becoming the kind of man who naturally draws desire through confidence, emotional awareness, and authenticity. Every element we talked about, from valuing yourself, mastering emotional intelligence, and creating intrigue, to living with purpose, maintaining independence, and embodying presence, works together to build a magnetic energy that cannot be ignored. Women are drawn to men who are grounded, self assured, and fully engaged in their own lives because that energy signals strength, depth, and emotional maturity. The truth is, desire is not something you chase. It's something you cultivate within yourself and reflect outwardly in every interaction. When you focus on becoming a man of value with a clear direction, emotional awareness, and a confident, calm presence, attraction naturally follows. It's not about manipulation or tricks. It's about authenticity, subtlety, and the power of your own energy. Every choice you make, every gesture, every interaction contributes to the impression you leave. And by being intentional in how you carry yourself, you create a magnetic force that draws women in without ever needing to chase or convince. Ultimately, the most irresistible men are those who live fully, love boldly, and stand firmly in their truth. inspiring desire not by words alone, but through the undeniable strength and presence of who they are.